waterways. The most seriously injured were on board the charter bus, which was transporting foreign students from a North Seattle college. For NPR News, I'm Patricia Murphy in Seattle.
Federal Reserve Board Chair Janet Yellen, during a speech in Massachusetts today, made it fairly clear where the Fed is going in terms of interest rates. While the central bank declined to raise rates at its meeting earlier this month, she left little doubt in order to keep the economy on an even keel. That's likely to happen soon.
We currently anticipate that achieving these conditions will likely entail an increase in the federal funds rate later this year.
Yellen made her remarks during an appearance at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. On Wall Street, stocks closed lower today, but still well off their earlier lows. The Dow was down 78 points at 16,201. The Nasdaq closed down 18 points today. You're listening to NPR News in Washington.
More Apple, don't shoot us. We just report it. Microsoft Linux? You must be kidding. OPM, will it ever end? Watch for the bots. Drones take up arms. Selfies for a monkey. Did you know the Pope's here? Bruce is away, and your calls are on the way. Coming up next.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to Scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Gamecock Auto Spa, a part of the Extreme Auto Spa family of car washes located at 1011 Pelham Road South in Jacksonville, is ready to clean your car and get it back to looking like new. Gamecock Auto Spa offers different washes with a foam bath, tire cleaner, clear coat sealer, wheel cleaner, and much more at affordable prices. JSU students, military, and senior citizens receive a special deal with a valid ID. For more information, the number is 256-403-0905. Gamecock Auto Spa, a proud patron of WLJS.
Well, that's a new intro to the Hey Techies Show. One of these things where we just sometimes seem we're out of luck when we do what we think we need to do to make this system work. So I haven't a clue what just happened there, but very odd. So
Looking to cure that.
I think what the guru now, we're trying to figure out what happened. So apparently our playlist, you might have to just exit out of the whole thing, just close the whole thing down. And, just hit the X there and just hit OK. Because I know it froze up on us when we tried to switch shows here. So who knows? But we do have a great show tonight.
The magic of live radio. It's always, anything can happen.
Yeah, well, that was unfortunate that it did happen. Wow.
We had a new opening and everything.
Yeah, oh well. But anyway, so glad to have you in tonight, and we'll get our problems fixed here pretty soon, and we might even get to show off our new opening after all, and just play it anyway, so when we can figure it out. But I think Guru says it's still messed up.
Yeah, so. I don't know what's up. Sorry.
Well, all right.
We'll figure it out. We got the show must go on.
That's right. So, Guru, we've got all kind of new stuff going on as far as iOS, and it seems to be just continuing. I know, and I know Bruce is not here with us tonight, and he would be so happy that we're talking about more Apple news. Yes. By the way, you are listening to the Hey Techies Show, and our phone number is 256-782-5600, and you can be on the call line with us. And what we try to do is we can fix your tech problem, and hopefully we'll be able to fix our tech problem tonight, maybe. I don't know. So glad to have you with us tonight. And but when we get started here, though, this whole deal with Apple, the iOS stuff, and then you've got the Xcode situation going on. It just seems to be crazy.
Yeah. In case you hadn't heard, apparently there's some apps that got hacked by. It ain't by. I guess you should say. I guess say hacked. Wouldn't you say hacked, Michael?
Well, I think it basically was that they put in some malicious code in an Xcode program that was not the real Xcode program.
Yeah,
Xcode Ghost.
For those who don't know, Xcode is the software that iOS developers use to build apps for your iPhone and iPad and all the great and wonderful iOS devices, Apple Watch and the like. And it will be also for the Apple TV OS. But anyway, and apparently in China it's very difficult to get, in terms of not like to get, but it's very slow to download, which I can attest. I had to download Xcode again at work, and it's a 3 gig file, and it was slow here. So I don't think it's our internet connection. It's probably Apple servers, and they say it's really slow in China.
Yeah.
So apparently some sort of files, download, like a download.com where you can go download software, and apparently they hosted it there, and it's a reputable company that was offering it to be downloaded. Apparently it was faster. But,
yeah, right.
But whoever put it up there added some extra stuff inside of the deliverable of Xcode, and these developers really didn't have a clue. So they go and write their apps, work on their apps, build their apps, send them to Apple. Apple approves them, and the thing is, Apple never caught it, that was kind of bundled inside, the app.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at on that. So,
and it's a big list. I mean, it's a pretty long list that has been affected in one way or the other. Around 85 is what I last saw that have been affected. And Apple has gone out and said, hey, we're just pulling them down. We found the ones that are affected, and we've been pulling them down. And as they have, then the developer has to go back and try to update that.
Yeah,
so they're going to update and fix those problems.
And for the developer, I don't think it's a big deal. It's getting a valid copy of Xcode,
right,
and basically running their app through that, recompiling it, I guess you could call it, and
right,
putting it back out there. But Apple is supposed to be notifying actual customers who download these apps, which is kind of a first for them. They really don't reach out to the end user.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they know what you've bought, so they have the ability. Most of the time, they just don't do that. So, but they're actually said that they're going to email people who download these, hacked apps, and let them know, hey, you may want to remove them from your system.
Hey, you've got a hacked app.
But here's the thing too, and this has been rumored. This is, I guess this ain't the rumor segment, but it's been rumored for years. Apple had the ability to remove an app from your device.
Right.
They've never exercised that option, but it's always been rumored that. Apple, of course, can yank them down from the App Store for sale, but it's been rumored that they can actually remove from your device. I don't think they're doing that yet, so maybe they don't want to show that card.
Yeah.
You would think this would be a time they would do that, but obviously not.
Apparently not.
If it's true.
Right.
You know how rumors are.
And then, of course, we have the situation with Apple going on that you may or may not have known this, but the Apple iPhone, there's several states that they're not just going to be able to walk into and pick up one.
Right.
And so what's happened there is Apple is trying to stop this onslaught, and it has happened for several years, of scalpers, basically, people that are trying to turn a profit on some of the phones. And in some of these states, what's happening is they're going in and they're giving money to homeless people and putting them in line. Okay,
right.
This is the stick, and then they go in and buy the phone, and they continue this. They give them just enough or a little more, whatever, and they continue to just buy more phones, and then they resell them. At a different rate, whatever. And it's like you have scalping tickets in a way. It's not exact, but in the similar stance. So all this is going on, and you kind of wonder. will Apple be able to keep this from happening in other states like they think they can keep it from? They think that this is not happening in other states, and I'm not so sure that's true. I'm sure
these folks that are doing this stuff, scalping the way you called it, Michael.
Well, that's what I read that's possibly considered like scalping.
It's still going to happen. They're just going to have to try to do another way. And they were using these states where there's no state sales tax because right there is 8, 9, 10% more money they can make because they're not having to pay the sales tax.
I'm wondering if these states that they were talking about, and I'm thinking Oregon was one of them, if they have a lot of homeless. And it was just easy to find someone.
I don't know, but I guess you can pay. And you hate to say homeless, but probably
they are. That's what they are. I mean,
I've heard of people getting paid to sit in line to buy iPhones in past launches. Like, I'll pay you, $100 if you'll sit in line and buy an iPhone for me.
Right.
I mean, $100 in your pocket after you buy the iPhone.
Right.
So, I mean, I just don't have the time on my hand. Like I saw on Facebook, this is not tech related, but like the Krispy Kreme is opening soon in Gadsden.
My wife pointed that out.
The first 100 people in line get like free donuts for a year.
That's right.
Somebody I'll work with said, "Won't you go over there and take one for the team and do that?" It's like, I've got a job to do. I don't think I could sit there and for days on end outside of a donut store to get be the first 100 people.
I got to tell you, that doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah,
but that's no surprise to the people who know me. Yes, no surprise there. So. Anyway.
But if Krispy Kreme wants to bring us some donuts to the station, I mean, hey.
And then iOS 9.0.1, I think it is.
A dot
Yeah,
dot release.
And they had to do some updates. I actually updated my little iPad mini was acting odd after the update, actually. And I don't know.
It's that iPad mini.
It is a first generation, so I'm thinking that some of this might be a little too powerful for its processor.
Yeah.
Of course, it doesn't do all the bells and whistles that we talked about before.
Right.
But.
And the iOS dot release that came out today, I mean, Apple only pointed out 4 things it fixed.
Yeah.
So, and I read through, it's like, I don't think I'm been affected by any of those personally, so I need to download it. I'll do it later. But one thing we can mention later, whenever we get ready to talk about it, is, Apple promised all these performance enhancements It's like performance enhancing drugs. These performance improvements is supposed to speed your devices up, especially older devices. That was one of the things they promised with this release. And people have shown where it's actually slowing devices down.
Huh, that's interesting. I guess it depends on where you read. I've seen people claim that they're gotten better performance here, battery life, and that kind of thing.
I've watched some of the tech YouTubers, and they took the same device that was factory restored clean. One had iOS 8 dot, whatever the last 8 release was, and iOS 9, side by side, and would launch Apple apps and boot them up from a cold boot. And every time, iOS 8 was faster. I mean, that's unscientific. But that's what they're claiming.
Well,
so I can't tell a significant increase, if any, on my device.
Tomorrow's when you go get your phone stand in line and get your phone from the store, or supposedly you're supposed to have it if you pre-ordered it.
Unless you're in a couple of zip codes in Manhattan.
Yeah, well, no, that's because the Pope's here, apparently.
That's right.
So some zip codes in Manhattan are not getting packages, or they're getting slow packages. Is that correct?
That's what I've read. And, I mean, when you have
the Pope's here, and I
wonder if the Pope's getting a new iPhone.
No, I don't know. The point is, the Pope's here. It even affects tech.
I know.
I mean, good grief.
I saw a picture on Facebook where they were welding the manhole covers.
Yes.
In certain areas of New York where the Pope's going to be, for security purposes and to make sure everything is locked down, so to speak.
Right.
So it locks down the tech because the tech has to be put on a truck to get to the store.
Huh.
But there was actually people, as of last night, I saw reports of people were already waiting in line as of last night for an iPhone. That's 48 hours out.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is.
Wish I could wait in line that long.
Yeah.
I have a lot to do. I just don't have time to wait in line for a $700 plus device.
No.
If somebody was going to give it to me, I'd consider it.
I don't know about waiting in line.
I'd consider it. I didn't say I would do it. I would consider it.
Yeah. So the speed test, I know there's a video actually that we'll have posted in our links. I believe that you can go watch some of this if you're curious on how that was
Oh yeah, on
That was
the
speed test.
the performance, not speed faster, I guess you could say.
Right.
Yeah, we got a video from, I forget who did it, but we'll put it on in the show notes.
Now, I don't know if some of you have went out and bought a new iPhone, but if you have, you could give us a call and tell us yours is on its way. And
that's right.
Maybe next week you'll call and give us your review of it, of something, so we'd be glad to take your call.
Because Apple's not sending us any
no,
full review.
No, we're not.
Unfortunately,
we're not getting any review units, of course. No. You got to be big.
Hey, we are big.
I know, but you got to be really big, I think, to get some.
We're so big. Our new professional show open voice wouldn't even play tonight.
Yeah,
how big we are.
Yeah, that's man, that's a shame. I really thought I checked that. That is so weird. I don't know. That thing's acting up again, or I've done something wrong, which is possible. But I thought I had that all working. I was looking forward to it. I was excited to play it. So we'll see as the Hey Techies Show moves along. So, well, look, we're going to see if we're going to be able to cut to a break real quick, and maybe we'll look at fixing.
Look at secure that sweet tooth of yours.
It's still messing up.
Oh, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and cut to break here in just a minute and see. I think all of our closes and things like that, Guru, are not going to work right now. So I think somehow I must have messed the playlist up, man. So let's go ahead and cut to the break if you can go ahead and get it in. We'll be right back.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Gamecock Auto Spa, a part of the Extreme Auto Spa family of car washes located at 1011 Pelham Road South in Jacksonville, is ready to clean your car and get it back to looking like new. Gamecock Auto Spa offers different washes with a foam bath, tire cleaner, clear coat sealer, wheel cleaner, and much more at affordable prices. JSU students, military, and senior citizens receive a special deal with a valid ID. For more information, the number is 256-403-0905. Gamecock Auto Spa, a proud patron of WLJS.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to Scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. So glad to have you with us tonight on this tech challenge tonight, apparently.
Yeah, very tech challenged.
So,
we can't figure out this jazz.
Nah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So Guru's over here. He's a pro. He's a pro at it. He'll figure it out to see if we can get us by. Just a behind the scenes here, Guru, it might be better just to exit out of the whole thing and just edit the playlist through the actual program and then come back into it. Y'all are going to get a behind the scenes sort of.
Yeah, just I may not be speaking much in the next few minutes. It's because I'm very busy right now. So
that's okay. You know where to go to edit the. Yeah. Well, anyway, I do have something on my mind that I can continue on with. Something that I ran into. It's over there on that one of the tabs that says program or something, auto program, I think, Guru. I don't know how many parents we have listening, but maybe we have a few. It's something at my heart, of course, is our kids. And I've noticed that a friend of mine was telling me about this product called, actually it's a social site called Yik Yak, and I know there's a lot of people that use it. I've heard that it's growing, and all social programs are growing. Twitter is sort of not growing, but things like Instagram, I don't know if you do this, but Instagram is up to 400 million users. Of course, not to Facebook is way beyond that, but 400 million users for Instagram. And so the problem comes in. The problem comes in that you got to be careful with your kids. Your kids are, all of us are precious. They're precious to us. And I'm telling you, if you just let your student, your kid, your child just be on the internet on their own to these products, you're going to get back what you put into it, basically. I found out that this Yik Yak is it's anonymous. People can sign up to be anonymous. And so you can only imagine what kind of things are said when you can be anonymous. We are a world now of people that want to just say whatever they want to and be anonymous. And so I got to thinking on those lines. Being anonymous is not necessarily a great thing. You really need to be who you are and let people know who you are and stand for who you are. And I know this is a little bit off the tech-related subjects that we normally cover, but it's very important to know that when you look at the internet, it's the wild, wild west times 1,000. There are no holes barred, really. I mean, there's a lot of things that say, well, you got to be this age to sign up. Yeah, right. Those are pretty much just clicks away to do whatever. The thing that most bothers me, though, about the Yik Yak situation is that your kid can pretty much see any kind of thing they want to within. I haven't used it myself, but somebody I know viewed it, and he said it's just vile. It really is. And so I wanted to share with you, and we've talked about this before, but if you're a parent and you don't know, well, I hear all this, I don't know what to do. Well, you know, one thing is that you can actually do is you can have this product that you can put on your home router system, and it's called OpenDNS. Now, I'm not promoting that particular one. There's others, but OpenDNS is a great product. And basically, OpenDNS will allow you to be able to block some of these things. Now, there is truth that when you have say a pupil, if you will, or a student, whatever, what have you, that is, say, of age, whatever, or they're on their own a lot of times. They have a phone. Yeah, you're not going to be able to block that. When they're outside of your home, you're not going to be able to do anything about that. But this other product I'm talking about, it can limit the kinds of things that you don't want your children or young teens, what have you, teens living at home, to have to deal with. Don't want to have them having to see these kind of things. And so there is ways to set up this particular OpenDNS, and a lot of them, this is one of the most popular ones, and we've talked about it before. Just in OpenDNS has all the things you need to know there. They can show you how to set up just your phone or device if you want to do that. They recommend putting it on a router, and basically you put their DNS numbers. It's like it's digits. It's an IP address, and they on their end block the known places that would be inappropriate. Now, some of you are going to say, well, I don't want to block that. Well, I guess that's on you. Also, adjacent to this, I want to point out that if you do have a computer, a home computer in your home, and, you know, a lot of people have laptops, but if you have a home computer, you really need to have it in an open area. If it's the family computer, it's very important that I'm suggesting to you to consider these things. Put it in an open area where it can be viewed by everybody all the time. Not that you don't trust, but you shouldn't trust the internet. You really shouldn't trust the internet. The internet really doesn't have any, what's the right term? I guess the right term would be ditches to keep anybody on the straight and narrow. There's no bumpers to keep the ball going down the right path to hit the pins in the bowling alley.
It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah, oh yeah, as I said, it is the wild, wild west.
It's not the safe, like being in the neighborhood. Like the analogy to me is when I was growing up, you knew you could ride bikes, near the house. There's certain streets you could ride on. You can't go too far away. You have to make sure mom and dad know where you're at. That kind of thing. It's to keep you safe. And as a kid, I want to go over there to the convenience store. I want to, this, that, and another. It's like your parents like, no, they want to keep you to where you stay out of trouble.
Right.
Not to say it's a bad area, but traffic, be a busy road or something you have to cross, and they didn't want you doing that. And that's kind of like the internet, because without doing stuff like OpenDNS or some sort of filtering, kids can get inadvertently put somewhere that they don't need to be, don't need to see at all. And even something as innocent as YouTube, you have to be careful too, because there's some vile stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah, my daughter likes to watch football plays and those kind of things. So I'm always asking her, and I'm checking up on them when they're watching on their devices to see what they're getting into. And the problem is, it can just be all of a sudden. It could be something just all of a sudden. One time my son was watching something. It was years ago. He was on YouTube. It was in the family room. And I basically had to turn it off, because it ended up being a guy who was eventually, what he was going to be doing is taking his clothes off, basically.
Oh, my gosh.
But he was Spider-Man, But it was dubbed under something else. So
yeah.
Now, it's been a long time ago, and, of course, that it didn't get that far. But my point is, you just never know what's going to pop up. You've been on that website, and something showed up there that wasn't what you thought you were getting into. Some of these ads, they're absolutely unbelievable. It's getting bad on television.
Oh, it is.
Television alone. It's like, can you watch it with your kids in the room?
The thing is, as adults, we know what's right and wrong, and if we choose to watch certain things or view certain content, that's our choice. And we're adults, but I hate to say it, but you need to shelter your children from that. They're growing up too quick as it is. They don't need to see that stuff. That's my opinion. I don't even have kids, and I'm like that, So I agree wholeheartedly with Michael about OpenDNS, and we'll have to find an article or something that we can put in the show notes to tell you how to do that, because it's very straightforward.
Yeah, they have a whole on their website. They have a spot where you can go and click on how to do it, and then it breaks down the different switches and things and hubs and routers, mostly routers, I guess, for home.
Right.
They even sell their product to businesses.
Yeah.
And some businesses use their OpenDNS product.
But,
so.
and I don't know if Michael explained this. I was task loaded over trying to fix the Jazzler, and I hope I've got it fixed, by the way. But anyway, basically basic DNS, I know it's kind of a scary term for folks who are not very techie. And I'll think of DNS as a telephone book. I need to look up such and such.
Yeah, right.
www.google.com. Well, to the internet, it goes and looks up a number for google.com. That's what the DNS does. And basically, if you use OpenDNS's DNS servers instead of the ones provided by your ISP, their DNS server, instead of going to badsite.com, it'll stop you and it'll take you to another page, say, this is not a good site.
Right.
That's kind of the 40,000 foot view of that.
The 40,000
foot view of that, yeah. But anyway, that's kind of how it works, and yeah, I definitely recommend that. And like Michael said, put the computer in a public area of your home. Not, I mean public, but in the living room or in the kitchen or somewhere where people are coming and going. Because don't put one in the kid's bedroom unless they're a lot older. I mean, they have to be like almost a teenager, and something you can trust them. And it's getting harder and harder now with the devices.
That's really going to be that's going to be a per person basis. I mean,
but
serious per kid basis.
Yeah, and this technology I think is very important for kids now, to grow up with and to use and learn, because it's very prevalent in the classroom now.
Oh yes,
and it helps them be able to be better students if it's used properly. So if you can have the means at home to have this technology available, that's great. It's just we just got to make sure we're keeping kids where they don't need to, keeping kids out of where they don't need to be.
Right.
That's probably not the best way to say that.
No. I mean it. I think it's important. Like for instance, I can tell you this: about 10 years ago or so, we at the IT department a little more than 10 years ago, they constantly were trying to be able to block extremely bad sites.
Yeah.
We're talking about child pornography, anything like that. We're talking about really, they're not talking about artsy sites. They're talking about, all kind of different sites. Right. Not just pornography, other type.
Inappropriate
sites.
content.
Yeah, inappropriate content sites. So at the time, over 10 years ago, it was at 28,000 sites.
Wow,
we're talking
that's 10 years.
We're talking about maybe 15 years ago, Guru. Nearly 15 years ago, it was 28,000. You can only imagine what it could be, and I don't even think we do much of that as much anymore. I mean, I know we block, so we have a content blocker and block some, but it's not shaped. It's not the way it used to be. It's changed a lot, but it's an enormous thing, and it's only increasing.
Yes,
it's not going down.
No, no.
So, anyway, that's just a little bit of what I had on my mind. Actually,
well, that was a very good point.
Last night and this morning, I was just thinking, that there's a lot of ways, and that's not the only way. You can research it yourself, and there's other ways to keep your kids as safe as possible within reason on the internet, because it is a great thing as far as a lot of great things you can use it for. There's a lot of wonderful things you can use it for, but at the same time, you wouldn't let them cross the street or stand out in the middle of an interstate,
No.
So we got some waivers.
Yeah, so somebody's waving at us. We've got audiences, people walking by, and people in the next room over.
They're working in a studio in the next room. We may need them to come in here before it's over with.
I know.
If things get too bad.
I know. When Bruce when Bruce is not here, it's falling apart. So hopefully, maybe Bruce will call in.
I doubt it now. He's going to let us die on our own.
I know.
I don't think he's calling. So anyway, I'm sure he's busy eating somewhere.
Well, probably so.
Yeah. Hey, what about the iPhone 6s Plus? They say it has a smaller battery than the previous version.
I know. I found this on Mac Rumors, which is my go-to Mac site. It's Mac Rumors. They have Mac news as well, and apparently, I don't know how they found out this, because this device hasn't been released. But according to what they have reported and found out, that the iPhone 6s has a smaller 1715 milliamp hour battery.
Yeah.
And I think, I guess what I'm trying to find this article mentioned it's less milliamp hours than the iPhone 6.
The iPhone 6s Plus is smaller than the 2915 milliamp battery that found in the existing iPhone 6 Plus. So the iPhone 6s Plus, according to what they have, some people have found out, comes with a 2750.
Right. Yeah.
Milliamp.
And these are supposed to be a little bit thinner, but not just a little bit thinner. Like you talk millimeters thinner, so really it's about the same. But they added the 3D touch, the Force Touch, to the display, which apparently added some thickness to your display. So that may be the reason. That's just kind of what this article is kind of leaning to be what they think is the cause to that. But I just wonder if it's going to equate to less battery life, or did they improve something else? Because it does have a different chipset. It has the A9 processor versus the A8 that's in the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus.
Right.
So it makes me wonder if maybe it'll be negligible. The smaller battery, but you'll get the same battery life, so really there's no harm, no foul.
Right.
Thing. We'll see, because these things will be in people's hands tomorrow. The ones that are lucky enough and rich enough to afford one, or wait in line for one, or buy one from a scalper in states other than the 4 we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Well, they have the A9 processor.
Yeah.
So,
and that may be more efficient and use less energy.
Supposedly the software improvements they've done is supposed to make it more efficient. So we'll find out.
I'm not seeing much improvement, and I have this iPhone 6. But we'll see how it is with this new. It may be better engineered for that A9 chip. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see, as they say.
They will. I will say this: the Apple is telling that the iOS 9 that we've talked about, according to sources, has been installed on more than 50% of active devices. They're saying that's the fastest adoption ever, and I think probably a lot of this has to do with the fact that I think they're going to always see more increases in this in a way because they control the update. They say they make all this, hey, we're coming out. Everybody, people who like these devices for the most part watch the opening, watch everything they do when they come out and say, hey, we're going to have this new device, new product. It's going to come out on day X. And it's going to come out at this time.
And here's the thing. Techies like me and Michael and Bruce, well, Bruce, I know Bruce watches the Apple keynotes.
He does not.
That is a joke, by the way. Anyway, techies like us, techies in general, I mean, they're really following this very closely, and they're going to get the information. Cause I can remember the days when there was no live streaming of Apple events, and people were like live blogging from within the hall. They were doing that, but thing is, Apple's got such an influence now that even mainstream media picks this stuff up, and it'd be like breaking news on one of the cable news networks that Apple just announced the new iPhone 6s. It's like we got a Fox News alert. I mean, I'm serious.
I know.
But that's something when a company is able to break national news with stuff like that, and they've been able to do that.
Right.
And that's and everybody knows, and that's plus Apple controls the updates, unlike with Android. So that does help get the adoption rate up quicker.
Right.
And I meant to look and see what our adoption rate on our app was, but I can look that up while you're talking.
While I'm talking about this.
I meant to look that up because I was
The
watching
iPhones are on pace to beat last year's record-breaking 10 million iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus launch weekend. And according to Phil Schiller, says the iOS 9 is on pace to be downloaded by more users than any other iOS version ever released. Well, I think that kind of stands to reason. There's more devices.
That's exactly what I was thinking. There is more iOS devices.
I don't think that. I don't know if that's that big of a deal. If it's going the other way, they got other issues.
Exactly. They better be figuring out, why people are leaving, jumping ship.
But that's not happening anytime soon.
No.
I think they're making a product that people like to use. Let's face it. And they're great at marketing. I mean,
there's plenty.
If you're trying to market something, go figure out what Apple's doing because they market well.
Yeah, there's plenty of apple juicers in this world.
Yeah.
Not just a guru. Yeah, I know. Bruce is kind of like cringing at me saying that when he listens back to the show. He'd be like, "Whoa, why'd you say that?"
Yeah.
Sorry, Bruce.
No, we knew this would be Apple tonight. Of course, the Apple released WatchOS 2 to the public and making it available.
Yes.
And of course, the update to that requires that you have iOS 9.
Yes.
And it says it can be downloaded over the air through the Apple Watch app on the iPhone by going to General. It gives information on how to do that. General and update settings.
I don't have an Apple Watch.
No, me either.
I kind of needed one earlier today, but I don't have one, unfortunately.
It says it's supposed to bring 2 native apps that run on the watch itself instead of the iPhone and lets developers access several sensors and hardware features, including the Taptic Engine, heart rate monitor, microphone, and an accelerometer.
I just like the word Taptic Engine.
Yeah, that's fun to say. Accelerometer as well.
Accelerometer.
Taptic Engine.
Well, here's some shocking statistics. They say 50% adoption rate. Well, our students kind of take the mentality of most IT professionals, and we don't run out to get the latest and greatest right away. There's only like 10% of people that use our app, the MyJSU mobile app, that are running 9.0. 46% on 8.4.1.
Okay.
Yeah, so and there's nothing wrong with waiting. There's nothing wrong. They must be listening to the Hey Techies Show because last week we said you don't have to be in a hurry to update. So, hey, they're listening to our advice.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
There you go.
Yeah, right. So, anyway. Well, the Hey Tech...
We have music. How about that?
Yeah, I think this is some of the old stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. We'll see. Well, the Hey Techies Show, we'll be right back after this short break.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Gamecock Auto Spa, part of the Extreme Auto Spa family of car washes located at 1011 Pelham Road South in Jacksonville, is ready to clean your car and get it back to looking like new. Gamecock Auto Spa offers different washes with a foam bath, tire cleaner, clear coat sealer, wheel cleaner, and much more at affordable prices. JSU students, military, and senior citizens receive a special deal with a valid ID. For more information, the number is 256-403-0905. Gamecock Auto Spa, a proud patron of WLJS.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in South Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael and Bruce.
Well, that was the old one.
Yeah, I thought that was the new one.
We'll get it worked out. That's okay. No, I didn't think it was the new one.
It was worth a shot.
Well,
yeah.
I did that this morning, and as I said, I thought I had it. I checked it, but apparently it has failed to work. So
you got to check, recheck, and then do it all over again.
I know. Apparently, I need to. I guess I was in too big of a hurry. So.
Yeah, I was really excited to debut it tonight, and I felt bad that Bruce wasn't going to be here.
Well, guess what? It didn't work.
I know. It did not work, so, Bruce will get to...
So we'll have to punt. I'll have to come up here a night or a day when I can figure it out. Well, anyway, I'm already starting to go hoarse, too. Hey, I thought I'd throw this in here real quick, Guru.
Throw it in there.
Microsoft has developed its own Linux.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's really not... It's not like it's something you're going to go download and run on your own computer. It's not really a desktop version. What it is,
I thought they were just giving up. After the Windows 10, everybody getting mad about.
No, it's not that.
Yeah. What about your Windows 10? You got to talk about that. Like you've got it where half the stuff's broken now.
Apparently,
you got it locked down so tight it does not work.
It's locked down so much some things aren't working.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was probably going to happen. So
anyway, that's off on a tangent. We can talk about that later.
But what it is, it's called. We talked about this before. It's part of the Azure Cloud Switch is what this is called. It's a cross-platform modular operating system for data centers networking built on Linux. Okay, it's their foray, if you will, into open source software. Then network devices like switches, they're running software for those. that kind of thing. So, this article is a little misleading. It's like, it's a big deal. They've sort of went out and developed their own version of Linux, which, I got to thinking, there's so many great programmers at Microsoft. If they'd have wanted to do this, they could have done it a long time ago.
Oh, they probably did this in their spare time, like on their coffee break.
They could have rolled their own version of Linux. I'm sure many of them do.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, it's for networking equipment and for servers and stuff. Yes. And the reality is, most websites you go to, the server running it is Linux.
Oh, sure, it has been
or some
for a long
flavor
time.
of it. We're very
it's
heavy,
not Red Hat or
we're very heavy Linux here with a lot of our stuff. And I mean, hey, the stuff works great. It's lightweight, it's robust, gets the job done.
And we have Microsoft products too. We have Windows Server.
Well, unfortunately, we have to certain products. And I know I'm gonna get some hate mail for this one, but.
Oh, that would be nice to get hate mail. By the way, questions at heytechieshow.com. That'll get you.
There's certain products that we have to do that run on Microsoft platform. They use Microsoft SQL Server for the database, and of course you have to put them on a Windows box. But we try to use Linux whenever we can. So, and I like using Linux.
I think this is really some of what they are using for that cloud service they have. Azure. Go get you a cup of coffee as you're waiting for it to boot up, as I was told. That for the ones the demo that some of our friends were doing, they said it was pretty slow, sluggish.
Right, that's not good.
But I don't think that. I think it has to do with that. They were just on some poor equipment. So, but that may or may not.
Linux runs bad on poor equipment too.
It can, yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to put some, modern distros on old machines, and oh my gosh, this is slow.
It can run, and I think they're using versions of Ubuntu, or I think that's what their base is. I thought that's what I understood it to say.
So they're just using another distro to make their own distro.
Yeah.
And
then not really on top of that, but I guess.
On top of that,
Google uses probably some of Linux stuff too, I'm sure. Did you know that Google is 2 billion lines of code, and it's all in one place?
All in one place?
Yes.
It's on somebody's PC scrolled away
no,
Google headquarters?
No, I'm afraid not. Like, for instance, Google Internet Services. If you go from Google Search to Gmail to Google Maps, as it says, all of that spans some 2 billion lines of code. So if you want to compare that to get an idea, Microsoft Windows operating system, pretty much all of the ones are in the area of 50 million lines of code.
Really?
Yes.
That's 2 billion with a B.
2 billion with a B.
So 2,000 a million.
Yes.
Wow.
Lines of code.
That's crazy.
And all of that, they say, according to what I've read, all 2 billion lines sit in a single code repository, and it's available to all the 25,000 Google coders, Google engineers.
Well, code repository, that's very common nowadays, and that's something I've learned of in the last year or so working with some of our products, that we actually some of our products were licensed to actually have the source code.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to start us get the source code from a source code repository that they maintain. We can pull down,
right.
And as part of that, I've kind of learned on my own. You can roll your own on your own PC, and think of it as I guess you call it version control. That's probably a very geeky term, but I'm trying to think of an analog. You make a change to something, and you make a change and save it, and you make another change and save it, make another change and save it. Well, you're I want to go back 2 or 3 saves ago. That's what that version control does. It allows you to roll back, so to speak, to a prior version of the code, and that's how these source code repositories work, which is it's pretty cool, and it allows people to work collaboratively. I can't even say
collaboratively.
Thank you. Collaboratively, and they can make their changes and push their changes up to a shared repository. And I'm sorry, I got way off on a tangent.
Well, there is an actual thing, called GitHub, and that's a big code. Yeah. That's similar to what this is.
Yeah, I've used GitHub.
And you can share code, and you can find code there a lot, and you can utilize that code in whatever you're doing. and maybe you can come up with something that will help someone else, and that's sort of the idea.
Yeah,
of
GitHub is spelled G-I-T.
Yeah,
not
G-E-T.
You can get GitHub.
No, G-I-T hub, and it's it's been known about for many years. It's not new per se. Yeah, but it has a lot of lines of code, and it's an open source there. But
yeah,
what this article is talking about is that it's very similar to that in a way that they have themselves, where all these coders have access to all this 2 billion.
Yeah, GitHub's a public repository, and when I was doing a class last fall, I was working with a group of undergrad CS students here, and I was their project manager, and they were the ones actually doing the analysis, design, and actual work for the software engineering class, and I was their project manager. So we decided on using GitHub to share the code, because everybody would work on their piece and publish their change to GitHub, and of course I could pull it down too and run it on my machine. So, and you can, in most large companies that work in this type of environment, they have their own GitHub, but it's not GitHub, it's something like that sits out on their corporate network. So it's getting very popular, but that's still 2 billion lines of code.
Yes.
I mean, just wrap your head around that. 2 billion lines of code.
Also, they have what's called a popper. Now, the way I understood this is a system that sort of, from what I gathered, has all this data here. Piper spans about 85 terabytes of data. And if you're interested in that number, that's like 85,000 gigabytes is what 85 terabytes is. So the Google engineers make, listen to this, they can make up to, the Google, 25,000 Google engineers, they can make 45,000 comments to their repository each day. 45,000 is a possibility that they could make on any given day.
That's crazy. Just maintaining and keeping up with all those changes. That's just hard to wrap my head around.
Well,
I have trouble keeping up with my own changes.
The Linux open source operating system span 15 million lines of code across 40,000 software files.
Wow.
So this is, I mean, when you think, and of course, we always knew Google was this huge company, and they do, but now, of course, they've spun off their Alphabet, and then Google is different.
It's still all in the same repository.
X is different than,
And this is not just the Google search. I think probably a good percentage that's the Google search.
No.
It's all their apps too.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is an article, and some of this is one person's view of it and what they've researched, and sort of this is not to the T, but it's an idea of how big that is, And I thought it was a very interesting article. Of course, we will have it on our show notes tonight.
Of course. And hopefully we'll remember to publish them this week. And I realized last night.
I think we both went back and forth on that.
Yeah, for anyone that was trying to pull the show notes for last week, they're now up. They were up late last night because I was getting ready to set up this week's show notes. I've got a template that I apply to it. Yeah. And I was like, we had never published last week, because I'll kind of do it, and then Michael will go and finish it and kind of look over it, and neither one of us remembered to go publish it, so I'm sorry if you were waiting.
Well, that's okay. We didn't get any hate mail about it, so I
no,
guess
we
it was
didn't.
all right.
Everybody was being very patient. They were patiently awaiting.
Oh yeah, they've gone out and got it now, Guru. That's what it is. That's what we keep telling ourselves anyway.
That's right. That's right.
So I know Guru's got a story for the next hour, but we're going to hold off on it. He's got a pretty good story that he can tell about basically some iOS that you need to consider when you're setting up an iOS device.
Yeah.
And some features that actually are good, but if you don't know about them, they could...
Be aware. That's how we'll title it. Be aware.
It's nothing... It's more along the lines of just need to know that, so you
be
don't
aware.
Mess up. Yeah.
Be aware of when you do stuff, what the implications could be.
Yeah. Hey, did you see this real quick?
What's that?
Facebook... I know we talk about them a good bit, but Facebook is going to have what they call temporary profile pictures, meaning, sometimes you'll say, I want to celebrate whatever, and you'll see these people, they'll put up a profile. Well, now you don't have to change your permanent profile picture, supposedly.
Okay.
You can put up a temporary one that they'll run for so long.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because I never do that because I'll forget to change it. So I just kind of
Well, this is sort of the idea.
Yeah. So I mean,
if you want to make a statement for however long,
so I could have like the Hey Techies Show, be my profile picture logo for like one day on Thursdays, and
I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, that right. That's
let's use that as an example because I'm dying to do that for my profile
one example.
picture.
There can commemorate milestones and birthdays and anniversaries. Although I guess people do that. Mine's been the JSU, me with the JSU WLJS sign for a while that I took back in when orientations were going on. So I've had that. I haven't changed it.
But speaking of which, WLJS is about to have their 40th anniversary.
That's right. And hopefully, 40th anniversary. That's amazing.
That's a long time.
They first came on the air 40 years ago, and the first song was what? Do you remember in the discussions?
Was it Stairway to Heaven?
It was Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think a lot of radio stations probably can point back to that time, and that might have been their first song. I don't know, but I know that was this radio station's first song what played on the air. So
they're going to have a special broadcast, I think, on the 29th at noon. They're going to replay the first hour.
Oh, okay.
I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
There's an article that the PR folks at JSU did.
Right.
So you need to go check.
And it's a big deal for all those that are connected to the station and have been connected to the station over
And we're just the new
years.
boys on the block, but it's cool to be a part
I
of
hope we
this.
can stay on the block after this show.
I know.
We may get our pink slip and we're not even employed.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, oh well, wow. Well, if you don't know, you are listening to WLJS Jacksonville, Alabama, and this is the Hey Techies Show program, and we are proud that you are listening, and we really appreciate it. And, of course, our phone number is 256-782-5600. If you would like to call about any technical issue, if you want to talk about your phone, hey, we do that. If you want to talk about your device, your laptop, whatever, you've got a Mac, you got to figure something out about, hey, we'll do that. Anything that you're having an issue with, we'll be glad to talk to you, and you can be on the show with the Hey Techies Show guru and myself. And
Bruce next week.
And Bruce will be back next week, although he may quit on us between now and then.
I hope not.
As much problems as we've had, who knows? He may say,
we're going to blame the absence of Bruce for the problems this week. So,
no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we will.
The absence of Bruce for the problems as well.
Yeah, he's not here, so everything's falling apart.
I'm thinking, Guru, I'm going to have to take the heat on that one. So,
nah, blame Bruce. He's not here.
Well, get ready, folks, for hour number
dose
coming up next. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a great show next hour. Finishing up, Hey Techies Show.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Spear. An evening prayer service at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, just the latest stop for Pope Francis on what has been a whirlwind day of public events. The pontiff speaking out on a number of topics during his appearance, including the clergy's sex abuse.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap. Buy it, use it. Buy it, buy it,
Sign of Mecca during the annual pilgrimage known as the Hajj. According to the Saudi minister, a stampede apparently occurred when two waves of pilgrims came together at an intersection. The BBC's Sebastian Usher says the melee occurred despite efforts to make infrastructure improvements.
The Saudis have spent billions on improving transport and infrastructure to try to prevent such terrible incidents, but it wasn't enough. Saudi officials have suggested that pilgrims may have caused the disaster by not following safety instructions. King Salman has gone on television to offer his condolences and promise a comprehensive review of the entire organisation of the Hajj. It may not convince everyone. Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of the Saudis' main regional rival Iran, has already denounced the Saudis for what he called their mismanagement of the pilgrimage.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher, it's the deadliest event to affect the annual Hajj in decades. Volkswagen is expected to name Matthias Müller as the new CEO of the company amid a scandal over the rigging of U.S. vehicle emissions tests for its diesel vehicles. Media reports cite sources who say the current head of the company's Porsche sports car brand will take over for Martin Winterkorn when the German carmaker's supervisory board meets tomorrow. Shares of Volkswagen have plunged more than 40% since Friday when U.S. regulators said the company admitted to fitting thousands of its diesel-powered cars with software that turns on emission systems during testing and turns some of those controls on during normal driving. Giant mining and construction manufacturer Caterpillar says it will cut as many as 10,000 jobs. The company announcing the cuts today as it slashed its revenue forecast for 2015. Stocks closed lower today, but were well off their earlier lows. The latest decline coming amid signs from some big U.S. companies that global growth appears to be slowing, including the announcement by Caterpillar it will axe 10,000 jobs over the next several years. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 78 points to end the session at 16,201. The Nasdaq was down 18 points today. The Standard & Poor's 500 closed down 6 points. You're listening to NPR News in Washington.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in South Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael and Bruce.
Yeah, cut it on out, Guru. Wow.
That's the
Welcome
last
back
time
to the
you
Hey
will.
Techies
The
Show.
last
Well,
time
that's
you'll
our
hear.
hope.
That's the last time you'll hear a announcer open the show.
Yeah, that's right. We fired him. Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, that list is all goofed up.
I know.
I don't know what I did to it.
Some of that may be my fault that I was trying to fix it.
I don't think so. I did a good deal to
Well.
it. Oh well, but we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
So enough of that.
Yeah.
Enough of our tech issues. We want to talk about your tech issues. So if you're listening and you want to call in and talk to us, 782-5600. That's 256-782-5600, and we will be glad to take your call.
Also, don't forget HeyTechiesShow.com.
That's right.
We haven't plugged the website, but
No.
only like twice tonight. So if you go there on the homepage on the right side, there's links to our Facebook, our Twitter, and our YouTube channels.
That's right.
So you can go connect with us there because I don't have Twitter open right now. I need to do that, but I have Facebook open and email. So if you got you can send us a question through that, and we'll put it on the air. I mean, we can't put you on the air through Facebook. We'll talk about your question or comment or concern on air.
Yes, we sure will. Be glad to.
And complaints go to Bruce at HeyTechiesShow.com.
Yeah, if you get him to answer, you let us know because
Yeah.
that would be interesting. So anyway, I don't think that is happening anytime soon. So the Guru ran across a interesting story, which the guilty will go nameless. We will.
Yeah, I won't even use names here. This is a guy I go to church with. He's one of my good friends, and he told me this.
Close enough.
He told me this on Sunday, and the kind of little background. He's not a real tech person. He has one of the non-smartphones, but he uses an iPad at the house. That's his associated with his wife's iPad, not iPad account, but iCloud account, which she has an iPhone and their daughter has an iPhone. Okay, so we got a lot of we're apple juicers here.
Yes,
all using the same ecosystem.
It works.
Yeah, and Apple has this very wonderful tool, iMessage, and it used to be just on iPhones and iPads. Well, iPhones, and it went to iPads, and it's on Macintosh like laptops. So you basically, if you have it set up correctly, or not correctly, but if you have it set up, you can receive iMessages across all these devices associated with your iCloud account or your Apple account. So to get back to the story, my buddy from church was at home on the iPad. It got his wife's account associated with it. He was just surfing on the web. This was in the middle of the day. His wife was at work and his daughter was at work at her job.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, stuff started popping up at the top of the screen, and it's iMessage. And basically, he's sitting there reading it, and it's between his wife and his daughter, and they're planning a surprise birthday party for him via iMessage.
Yeah.
And, of course, it was supposed to be a surprise, and he's supposed to have no idea. But he was sitting there reading the whole conversation about what they were going to get for dinner that night, the different plans, and all this, that, and another. And the two parties that were sending the messages back and forth, the wife and the daughter, had no clue that these messages were being read by the dad.
It blew the party.
Yes, before it even got started. And he could have been, and one of the things that was mentioned was about getting barbecue at Cooter Brown's.
Yeah.
That was one of the conversations.
Sure, I'll take some of that right
now. Yeah. But anyway, so got home that night, and later at the dinner table, and he said, so what are we getting from Cooter Brown's next week? And, I mean, I wish I'd have been there, because he told me that their mouth just dropped to the floor. Like, how do you know that? And he told them, I saw it all come across his iPad.
Yeah.
So the moral to that story would be, if you have an iPad associated with the same account as your iPhone, just be careful where you leave it.
Yeah. Because
those messages are probably going across that.
Sure.
And you just got to be mindful.
Well, this is a situation where it's, nobody's hurt, no foul.
Oh, no foul, but, it blew a good plans for a surprise birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, he turned 60 yesterday. So
well, happy birthday to him.
Yeah, happy birthday.
So
to the nameless person. You know who you are. I know, and he listens to the show every week. So thank you for listening.
Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my story about iMessage and about surprise birthday parties and stuff like that.
Well, so speaking of iOS, we're still on this subject, I guess.
Can we talk about something else?
Well, what would you like to talk about?
I don't know. I know some of our folks are not apple juicers.
No, they're not.
The people that are the fans of the Bruce fan club, they want to talk about something else. But it's all right, Michael. What do you want to talk about?
Well, actually, this is a different story that I have here. It's not. I don't know. I don't know how relevant this is. I guess it's relevant from one standpoint that people deal with this all the time. But a lot of people deal with having to keep up with all the passwords that they have.
Yeah.
And if they're in business situations, they want complicated passwords and long passwords.
They can't be one of the last 5, and they expire after so many days.
Well, there's an article that I actually wanted to get in, I think, the previous week, but we just didn't have time for it. And it's actually from the Independent over in the UK. It stopped using difficult passwords, according to the UK's spying agency. Now, I'm not sure if they're really trying to get that out there to try to get people to stop using difficult passwords because they're spying, but it's really not. Actually, it's a guideline. It's a guidance book, basically. And I think it really talks about that maybe complex passwords, if you can't, they complicate your life so much that you might be better off with a simpler password that's still complex. It's hard to guess. That's the way I understood it. And they sort of give a whole guideline. But I do know the thing about remembering passwords. I have some of them. I have a cryptic thing that I do, sort of, so I make notes and I don't have all of the password written out, but I have enough of the password that I can. It triggers things to remind me what it is, because see, I have passwords for other people in my family because, see, they don't type in passwords. They save passwords in whatever app, whatever this, whatever that, And I have to remember them because when they have to put them in for something that they don't save them in, they can't remember.
And they come ask Michael, help.
Well, that's because I try to keep them.
And every family has the resident, techie.
Sometimes.
So I know there's a lot of folks that are, feeling this right now. And I'm the same way. I have to keep up with stuff for others in terms of passwords because they store them or the device remembers them. They're like, well, what's my password?
Yeah, I know.
So I have to remember that one along my own.
The device remembering something, man, I know that's so simple to do, but I'm telling you, your device, if it's not locked and it gets into somebody's hands, they're going to have fun.
Yes.
They're just going to have fun. That's one reason why I don't have Facebook app on my mobile devices. My phone.
You don't?
Not my phone.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think there's you can log out of it, but it's not like
it's
not real easy. They kind of want you to stay logged in.
Of course, for a host of reasons. Now I do have. Well, I'm not going to get into what all I do have, but I do have I do have Messenger, so that is a problem there. But
that's a separate app, though.
It is a separate app, but you can get it and message people.
Well, it's like having Google Hangouts on your device.
I know.
It's a different network.
The big thing is lock your device, obviously. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
But you can do OnePass or KeyPass. And that would eliminate you having to remember all these blooming passwords. I mean, it is frustrating. I do admit. If you're wanting to stay safe and comply to a lot of things and say, I want long passwords. I mean, I know people with passwords with 3 letters. I mean.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah, I know,
sorry.
But they do. And I deal with this all the time. I mean, really, we should have more serious password limitations where we work, but. I'm not going to give anything away, but some people have too simple of a password.
Well, and then 2-factor authentication also.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
And for those who don't remember or don't recall or like, what are we talking about 2-factor? That's basically something you know, which is your password. That's the 1-factor. And something you have, which can be a lot of different things, which most time it's like a security token with a changing number every 30 seconds, a minute. This number changes, but it's changing in a predictable pattern set algorithm where the system on the other end authenticating you knows what that number is going to be.
Now, one thing that they're suggesting is that instead of requiring complicated passwords, I mean, I'm going to finish up on this, but this article is pointing to companies should have more security rules. I guess they're saying they need to have more security in place where somebody's not going to get to a password. Somebody's not going to get compromised, is what I'm getting.
Well, that's physical security, too.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly.
You can always remember, I remember some of the easiest passwords is somebody just calls up and talks to somebody, and they could be a secretary, they could be anybody, but if they don't, and they can be conned into giving up a password. That's usually the
social
first.
Engineering.
Yeah, that's usually the first way.
This is Microsoft calling. I need your password to fix your computer.
Yeah, we talked about
or the like.
Very dangerous. Yeah, sure, and they do call as that, or I've heard of the cons where it's the cable person calling. We need the phone person. Speaking of that, I don't think I have this link, but I saw something before the show started. A person, Guru, and this will not be in the show notes. This is just an extra. They got a $2 million bill. That's the way I think I read it.
$2 million.
Yes, $2 million bill from the phone company. I think it was Verizon.
And somebody didn't think that was suspicious.
Oh yeah, they think it's suspicious. But what happened?
But why didn't he get caught before it got sent out?
I don't know.
You would think somebody's reviewing that stuff.
They said their bill's up to $2 million, but I'm not too sure I'm buying all of that article. I got to reading it.
Well, it's on the internet. It has to be true.
Yeah, I know. But I'm thinking what it was more about was that the people that come after you, because they ended up canceling the phones, but the people that come after you like if you got outstanding bills.
Yeah, the bill collectors.
Yeah, the collectors.
Collection agency.
They're trying to come after them for that.
Well, yeah, because they get a percentage of the
but
the
$2
money.
million?
I'm
not sure I'm buying. I saw that, and actually it was a Fox News article, so I just don't know. Well, I know, but my point
that'll rot your brain.
I know. That's right. So they say. So that we've been told.
Yeah, someone told us.
We're not telling who, but somebody told us that it would. But anyway, so that's out there, and if you get a chance, I'm sure it's searchable and you can look it up. But can you imagine getting a bill for? I mean, I can only think, and it's holding them up from getting a house.
Oh gosh!
Because the bank won't. The bank's seeing this stuff out there, and they won't give them any credit.
Yeah. Yeah, non-tech tip. When you buy a house, they check your credit when you apply, but they also check your credit right before you close on it. So don't do anything to mess your credit up prior to
and they didn't
signing the paperwork.
That's the problem.
I know,
they can't even get it cleared up.
That's just kind of off topic for those who have never purchased a home before.
We are off topic, that's for sure.
Hey, we're off the hook tonight.
You never know how this is going to end up. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you never know how this is going to end up. So anyway. Well, the Hey Techies Show is going to be right back.
782-5600. Give us a call.
Yeah. Be glad to talk to you. Be right back.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to Scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Gamecock Auto Spa, part of the Extreme Auto Spa family of car washes located at 1011 Pelham Road South in Jacksonville, is ready to clean your car and get it back to looking like new. Gamecock Auto Spa offers different washes with a foam bath, tire cleaner, clear coat sealer, wheel cleaner, and much more at affordable prices. JSU students, military, and senior citizens receive a special deal with a valid ID. For more information, the number is 256-403-0905. Gamecock Auto Spa, a proud patron of WLJS.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they're closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Hey, I'm Rick from the Rick and Bubba Show. Hey, celebrating 40 years of great college radio from Jacksonville State University is 92J. You know, I was here on the air from 1985 to 1989, and you're listening to WLJS in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. So glad to have you.
Yeah, we can't name that tune tonight because I can see the songs and you built a playlist.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll say it for next week.
Yeah. Well, maybe the playlist will work better next week.
I hope so. I've got faith in you, Michael. You'll get this squared away.
Figured it out. I don't know. That's going to bug me too. That's the problem because we can't troubleshoot this. There's a show that comes on right after hours. I think the plug.
The plug.
And so, and I'm not lamenting that. I'm just saying that that's going to just stick with me for a whole 24 hours or more.
I'm like that too. So,
hey, I don't know if you know this. You've probably seen some of these, but there's a lot of things recently with the robots, and not only that, I think I opened the show talking about how that we're going to cover some stuff about drones, but robots are, there's even a show about robots now. It's called Humans, I think, is
really?
Something like Being
I thought you were going to say
Human.
Robot Wars.
Actually that was back.
Yeah,
they did. I haven't been able to see much, but I'm talking about humanoid type robots.
Like Data from Star Trek.
Yeah, similar,
Android.
but similar to that. But now this right here is not fictional. What I was just talking about, that TV show, that's fictional. This is not. This is Marines are testing Google's latest military robot. Now we talked about one time back. We had a story about that that Google robot. And I'm thinking it was actually made by Boston Dynamics, and they're owned, if I'm not mistaken, by Google X. And it was tested. Have you seen it? It looks like a large dog.
I hadn't seen it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah,
it looks like something out of a movie, like Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3 kind of thing. It's kind of freaky. It's not as big as those.
It has hydraulically actuated legs.
It does look like a dog. There's a picture next to
the thing weighs 154 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bigger than my dog.
That's a big dog.
Yes. It can be controlled via wirelessly by an operator that's around 0.3 of a mile away or 500 meters away. So that's a pretty good distance that they can control this wirelessly. And the idea of it, I think it has like 6 legs. Isn't that what it looks like to you? I think it's got like 6 legs.
It don't look 6. It's like it's 4, but like the bottom of the legs are more kind of flexible. I'm thinking like an artificial limb look where it can handle terrain. That's what it looks like to me. It's a little blurred in the picture, I think, or it's just my computer or something.
No, but, I don't. I was thinking I don't know.
For those not watching the stream, I got my laptop like right up to my face. So you're missing a treat if you're not watching the live stream.
Yeah, the live stream's great. You can listen to us and see us. I mean, that's
That's right. We got the live audience next door in the studio next to us.
That are watching us. They're getting a good show.
We're probably having more fun than they are because they look like they're doing schoolwork.
I think they look like they're having plenty of fun too, Guru. But anyway, back to the real story. This, of course, the U.S. military is interested in this, and for many reasons, but one reason is to protect our soldiers. For instance, it could go in areas where it could see inside a room.
Right.
And it would get shot or it would get blown up, and our military men and women wouldn't get.
Yeah, and that's great.
They could see, and they've been using these type things in different areas like there's bomb robots where they go in and take a robot, has cameras on it. You've seen those.
I actually watched a documentary the other day, and part of it was about the bomb squad at the Atlanta airport.
Right.
Like they had an exercise where they took this robot could climb up a set of stairs onto the airplane and like retract up and get real tight so it could go down the aisle of an airplane, like extract a bomb.
Right.
Which it was an exercise like a pair of shoes, but anyway. But yeah, I mean this stuff's been around, but then you've got like the drones in terms of military drones, like the aircraft that they can fly instead of someone being up there in an aircraft, and if they shoot down that, there's no lives lost.
Now this robot is called Spot. They even gave it a name. Shocking. I know that.
Probably Spot stands for something, knowing the government.
If it does, it's not in here.
Okay. Anyway,
I didn't see that. I think they just did it because that's supposedly the most common dog name.
I wonder if that
Spot
will not tear up the like the rug and the.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know if he'll soil the rug or not. I don't Guru. I don't know if this dog's potty trained or not, Guru. In-house trained.
I hope so.
House trained.
Yeah, house trained.
In-house trained. It's outhouse trained, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Other than power, it's low maintenance. I guess it doesn't shed, probably doesn't stink. All those things that you got to deal with.
You don't have to give a dog a bath.
Or take it out to let it go.
Take care of business.
Yeah, there may be some positives to this. I don't know if you remember this, but many, many, many years ago, there was a show called Battlestar Galactica, the original one, and there was a robot dog on that show.
Was there?
Yeah,
I didn't watch that.
Well, I know.
Is that before my time?
Yeah, probably. I'm older like that, Guru.
I'm not far behind you.
No, I know. But anyway, the original one had, and it was fuzzy. I mean, it looked fuzzy on the outside,
okay.
so it was pettable. This is not. This is all for actual doing something.
Well, to kind of twist that around on Star Trek, the robotic, the android Data, had a real cat.
Yes,
Spot.
that's true. Spot was the real cat.
It was a real cat, though.
That was true. Well,
Anyway, so I'm a Trekkie. Sorry.
No, that's okay. They had to make a human component there. Now, to go along with this, in China, the robots are rising. Now, I know many years we've had this whole thing, and people said robots are taking our jobs. Automated products are taking our jobs. And they, to one extent or another, I'm sure that that's true. And you can point to technology probably has taken our jobs. I mean, for instance, and I know this is overused, but the horse and buggy. Somebody made the whips. And while there are probably still a lot of whips being sold, it's not what it was when the horse and buggy was around.
Right.
I know that's one example. But even the car has changed a lot. I mean, used to there was a person that would come pump all your stuff. I mean, they had a person that would come out there and you got there, you got it. You got your oil checked, you got everything, you got your gas pump, but that's been gone a long time. Well, now, in some states, they make it. They've made it that way. Yeah. So you have to have
And that was so weird because I was with my friend after I got off my cruise this summer. Yeah. She was taking me to the airport, and I was flying out of Newark Airport in New Jersey. And
New Jersey's one of the states.
So it was in her car, so she drove me to the airport. So we left New York, went under whatever tunnel it was, and anyway, was in New Jersey. And she said, I gotta get gas. So she got off and got gas, and it's like, that was so weird. Like I was like, you know, pump your gas. She's like, oh, you can't hear. No. They have to. I'm like, oh,
yes.
Those little Southern boys used to get out and pumping his own gas.
No, they have to.
Yeah. Anyway,
well, there's a whole other story there.
Oh yeah,
and it ends up with politicians don't want to pump their gas.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll say that for another day.
No, that's what it's about. I don't care what anybody else says. But anyway, that's a whole side note. So, long story short, over in China, there's an article that we've got here. It was actually off of ABC News. And basically, they're saying that there is a high rate of replacing China's workers with robotics. Some of these companies are installed, like this one company just recently installed 80 robots made by a company in Sweden, to assemble mice, keyboards, and their subcomponents. Of course, these companies are slated to save a lot of money by using these type devices, of course, pushing down prices and be able to compete in other countries even more. Build a cheaper product, obviously. I mean, that's the name of the game. Sell it for more. Of course, at the same time, it's hurting.
Yeah, and a lot of times we demand things to be cheaper, and we don't want to pay as much for stuff, so we kind of do it to ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, but that's just a little bit, and we'll have it out. You can read more about it. I'm not covering all the article, but I was just pointing out that there are several ways to look at these technologies, and these are two of the ways. One is helping keep our men and women safe in the military, and the other one is in many of these countries and in the United States, these robots, these technological advancements are taking a human person's job.
Right.
And so I guess, the
thing is with that, here's how I look at it. It is taking away, what they call blue-collar jobs, a lot of those, and I hate that, especially for those that are in them and lose their job.
Right.
But for the kids that are now in high school and getting ready to start deciding what I'm going to do for a living and stuff, keep that stuff in mind. You may want to kind of think, what else could I study in school? Because there's plenty of shortages of like nurses.
Sure.
And apparently in certain parts of the country there's shortage of teachers. We've talked about there's shortage of IT professionals.
Right.
And that, just kind of keep that stuff in mind too. I think the workforce will shift into other things.
You're right.
And I mean, that could be overall positive, but you just hate it for those that are currently in that work and they lose their job. So that's kind of the guru's 2 cents on that.
The guru's 2 cents on that. Okay. Some rumors.
Gotta love it. The rumor mill.
Well, I think Guru found all these rumors. He does that a lot. He's really good at it.
Yeah. I've turned into the chief rumor officer, and Michael is the chief booking guest officer.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that got Johnny Jet on last week.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see if Johnny will call back some other time.
Yeah, so have you got Leo Laporte lined up yet?
No. We're going to line up a few more here soon, I hope. So, anyway.
And that is not a rumor. We aren't getting more guests. That is not the room. That's not part of the rumor segment. You get a message over there, Michael?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and start while Michael's taking care of whoever's texting him over there. Apple files for a trademark application for the HomeKit home icon. And I know this is a radio show, so you can't really see, but if you go to the show notes, we'll post a link to this article. But that little icon, it's like an H with like a little house, like the roof of a house sitting on top of it. That's kind of the look of this icon, and they've apparently filed, a trademark application, which of course that makes sense because it's a logo. So that makes you think that they're filing this application now. Makes you think that that they're getting ready to release this HomeKit stuff for real. That was rumored to be announced a couple weeks ago when Apple had their media event, and they had no talk of that at all.
Right.
So, we'll see. They actually, earlier this year, they actually trademarked the, filed application for the actual term HomeKit, but now they're actually doing the trademark of the icon itself, or their logo, I guess you can call it. So we'll see. Still no rumor on when HomeKit's coming, but I think that could be a game changer for, Internet of Things. I know Bruce is all about it. He's not about Apple, but he's about Internet of Things. And my whole take on Internet of Things, and I've said this before, is got to find somebody that's going to be out in front, some company that's going to lead this, because there's so many different competing standards right now that I want to use stuff like this in my home, but I'm just afraid if I invest in one lineup, one product line, or one technology, it's going to fall to the dinosaurs like HD, DVD, Blu-ray. That war happened however many years it's been.
Yeah.
I lost on that because I bought an HD DVD player and HD DVD titles, and wasn't 6 months after that, it's like it was gone. So
yeah, this whole thing with the HomeKit will be interesting, I guess.
Oh yeah, I think it's coming sooner rather than later. Maybe we'll hear something.
But is it going to make it to the Apple TV?
I think it is.
Yeah.
The rumors are pointing that way. I think this device is going. You got to have some sort of thing to control the Internet of Things device in your home.
And Apple wants to be at the heart of that.
So I think they could easily, with a software update, at least these new ones. Now these little $79 ones that have been around for years, I don't know if those will support it. You'll probably have to get this new hardware.
Oh, sure, the $199, the $150, $199.
Apple, this is Apple. We want your money.
Well, yeah, that's how they pay their people.
They're a hardware company.
Well, I think that's no big deal to me. Samsung may follow Apple according to a Mac Rumors article, by launching smartphone leasing program. Shocking. So basically, it's just following suit.
Yeah, if you did not, was it last week or week before?
Yes,
was it last week?
Yeah.
Apple
and the week before.
The cell phone companies are doing away with subsidized phones, and they've started doing it where you can purchase them on a payment plan, and they'll kind of give you, 0% financing, or you pay a set amount every month, and after 24 months, you own the device. That's great and wonderful, all that good stuff. And Apple, announced something. They want to get a piece of the action, and I said that they're wanting the cell phone company's business, or the carrier's business, I should say. The carrier's business. Sure. So Samsung is just following suit. They say, "Ooh, let's do this."
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder, though, if some of the carriers, they make money off of those programs. There's no question about that. But I imagine in some ways they might be glad to not have to deal with some of the headaches of dealing with the actual dealing with phones here. We're having a phone, buying a phone.
But that's lost revenue.
Well, I'm
not lost revenue, but lost because those. Even though Apple, I know they control the pricing, and I know that from my years in retail, they control the pricing.
Sure.
But they still sell that product. The cost is lower than the retail, so the retailer is out money. They're out that markup, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just Apple and Samsung saying we're going to keep it all.
Yeah.
And if you went to the Verizon store or the AT&T store, you're going to pay the same price for the device.
Well, they're all trying to raise their bottom line.
Absolutely.
I mean, they got to.
I mean, if it's a good business is not going to try that. They're going to try to figure out how they can increase profit because they have a, responsibility to the shareholders. And both these companies are publicly traded companies.
Sure. So expect to see something similar to probably what Apple has done. I think one of so it might be in the neighborhood of what they've done.
This is just a rumor, so there's no definitive
I will
news.
tell you this.
Tell me.
The Moto X, the latest version, you can get it at different companies, but you can also go online to the Moto X site.
Yeah, they have that builder where you can customize
Well, you can buy it unlocked right there.
Well,
so it's in the I think it was in the neighborhood of starting off like at $399 and then works up from there when you add stuff to it. So
still, I mean, $400 considering an iPhone or a Samsung, those flagship phones are like $700.
Yeah,
I mean, still $300 a lot of money, but
so I think we have
$700.
We have one more that even my wife told me about this one this week.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, she's contributing to the rumors.
Yes,
segment. Thank you.
Yeah, she told me about this one this week, and of course, a lot of people probably have heard about it because it's been in the news for part of the week. Actually, Apple Car development. They're saying that they're going to launch date of 2019. Now they're going to have an Apple Car 2019.
2019. Mark your calendars.
Yeah. They have already, we've talked about this before. They've had aggressively trying to hire different people from different car companies. I think they've gotten employees from like Ford, General Motors, Tesla, Volkswagen even.
Hope they didn't get the ones that were accused with the emission stuff.
That you heard on
that was on NPR last hour.
Was, yeah.
Hopefully not.
But it still really remains unclear, Guru, if that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, Apple. Here's the thing: 2019. I mean, this is 2015. That's 4 years off. But Apple will not release it unless it's right.
Well, I know, and that's fine. I mean, that's
And the thing is, if I lost my train of thought there. They may not be first, but they'll get it right. So we may see, we may see if they're targeting 2019, we may see the Google self-driving car prior to 2019. Never know.
Yeah, that's true.
There's another rumor.
Yeah,
we started that one here first.
Actually,
folks.
I think they have some that are rolling around the street.
Ones you can buy is what I'm saying.
Well, no,
like you can go to the car lot.
Well, when they release this, you'll be released to purchase. I mean, they're not going to release something. It's going to be purchased that day or next week.
Yeah, iCar.
Anyway, so those are our rumors for this week. So we'll keep a sharp eye out. We'll have plenty of time to find out 2019.
Yeah, mark your calendars, folks.
Yeah, right. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Gamecock Auto Spa, a part of the Extreme Auto Spa family of car washes located at 1011 Pelham Road South in Jacksonville, is ready to clean your car and get it back to looking like new. Gamecock Auto Spa offers different washes with a foam bath, tire cleaner, clear coat sealer, wheel cleaner, and much more at affordable prices. JSU students, military, and senior citizens receive a special deal with a valid ID. For more information, the number is 256-403-0905. Gamecock Auto Spa, a proud patron of WLJS.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. And we're still lingering.
Yes, we are.
So anyway. Well, so glad you could be with us. And we've got, this time we're going to turn it over to the guru for This Week in Tech History.
This Week in Tech History. September 19th, 1982. Do you remember where you were, Michael? That was 33 years ago for those keeping count.
Yes. I mean, I know I was in Anniston at that time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't expect you to know exactly where. I just kind of, I needed a drink of water, so I needed a stall there. Anyway, I need some more water, apparently. Anyway, September 19th, 1982, which is 33 years ago, in a posting made to a Carnegie Mellon bulletin board, Professor Scott Fahlman, I guess that's pronounced his name correctly, proposes the first known use of the term emoticon, also known as smilicons or smileys. This is what he wrote. I propose that the following character sequence for joke markers, colon, hyphen, and then closed parens. So if you turn, that's the emoticon smiley. He said, read it sideways. Actually, it is probably more economical to mark things that are not jokes, given the current trends. For this, use colon, hyphen, and then open parens.
All right.
So anyway,
of course, we know that as a frown face.
Right, the frowny or the sad face. While the use of emoticons did become widespread during the 80s and 90s, then the origin was not really known where it began. But back in 2002, the original message got retrieved from a backup tape, and that's how we've traced it back to Dr. Fahlman from Carnegie Mellon. So that's pretty cool.
So there you go. He's at fault for all the emoticons.
Yep. If you don't like them, that you can blame him.
Yeah, let's blame him.
And it's like every text message I get from certain people, like there's emoticons everywhere.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, they've gone crazy with the little. Actually, not. I'm still old school and we'll do the colon, smiley. Like the character one, and not to use the little icon that you can do now.
Yes, I usually use the text one.
Yeah, but some of them are pretty cute though. Anyway, that's This Week in Tech History. Well, 33 years ago, the emoticon was born.
Yeah, that was
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that was good. By the way, my wife says that she contributes all the time, and she does. She contributes stories all the time.
Absolutely, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
If you want to contribute a story, you can email us at questions@heytechieshow.com, and you don't have to wait till the show is on. You can do it all throughout the week because we monitor that inbox. Send us a Facebook.
Yeah, we do nothing but sit in front of the inbox.
No,
no, I'm not.
We have real jobs.
I didn't say you were insinuating that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you don't have to wait until 7 o'clock on Thursday night.
It's pretty clear that we have real jobs because I did not figure out that playlist was messed up. I had to go to a real job.
You talk about a tease. That's a week-long tease. Next week, you're going to be blown away by our new open.
Yes. Because it's going to be good. Man, I just cannot. Well, that's gonna, like I said, that's gonna bug a person like me. Oh, wow. Well, hey, let's do our overclock stack. Overclock.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Yeah. We have Bruce in here, so we got to do the ready.
Yeah, ready to go. We got to do the ready to go.
I've got the first one here tonight. Actually, it's going to be back and forth, I guess, because no third person here. We don't really have a wheel tonight. It's just back and forth, almost like playing
like tag team or something.
Well, there's several games me and my brother used to play that you really, Uno or anything like that, you really need another person to make it fair. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You've got a real problem with your mic.
I know. I try to get it in position and it'll just slump down, and I feel like I'm falling to keep it right here.
It needs some stick-em or something.
Something.
So drones armed with high-energy lasers may arrive in 2017. Flying military robots armed with high-energy lasers. The actual robot, they call it a robot, but we usually call them drones. They're working on one that's integrated with a 150 kilowatt solid laser onto its Avenger drone. That's a Predator Sea drone. And they're hoping that this is released sometimes in 2017. Now, for comparison, according to this, the 30 kilowatt laser output currently on that Ponce in the Persian Gulf. I don't know if you've seen that. They showed it where it's one of our ships and they destroyed an enemy missile. They had this whole thing. That was pretty interesting. It can blow a hole in a boat.
When you said that Ponce, I thought of Ponce from
Chips. It's on the Ponce. I think that's
the Ponce.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the name of a ship.
I thought of the guy from Chips. That's the motorcycle cop. Sorry.
The GAASI laser has 20 times the lethality of one of the Ponce lasers, with 5 times the power and 4 times the focus, according to
5 times as powerful.
Yes,
20 times powerful.
Yeah, the real problem with all this is how heavy it's going to be. And that particular Predator drone, it can hold a 3,000-pound payload.
Wow!
I know.
Like picking up a car.
It's bigger than you. We're not talking about an RC here. We're talking about I wonder
if it can lift our generator over there at the computer center.
I don't know. Yeah,
we were just talking about that today.
Anyway.
All right, how low can they go? We talked about earlier about Apple's program to buy on installment for phones. Well, here you go. T-Mobile has got into the game. They're offering, and this is kind of a punch back at Apple. They were offering a $125 discount if you got an iPhone 6s, but then they came back and said no, you can get it for $5 a month. Then Sprint went after that and said, no, you can get it for $1 a month.
Wow.
You get an iPhone 6s for $1 a month.
$1 a month.
But there's a catch. There's several catches.
What's that?
It's too good. It's a little too good to be true. But anyway, the catch is you have to have an iPhone 6 to trade in.
Oh gosh.
So first you got to have that, and that's worth at least $300 if you went through like the Gazelle folks.
Right.
That price is only for the 16 gig model. So that's the entry level 6S, not the 6S Plus. And the second one was you don't own the phone. So after this 18-month commitment you have to make, you have to turn it back in. So you have nothing to say for it. But
sounds familiar.
At $1, I mean, heck, that's $18 over 18 months. It's kind of hard to beat, but you are going to give up your phone. So really it's going to cost you $300-something up front because you couldn't sell that phone. But everybody's, there's handset price wars going on.
Oh yeah. Intelligent car seat detects driver stress level. Now, we've talked about this before in another story back in the summer. And what this is trying to do, a company has developed Active Wellness Seat. It's the world's first health monitoring car seat. And so it's supposed to do this. It's supposed to be able to be a non-touch sensor. Somehow it senses stress level, and then what it's going to do, Guru, it's going to try to do things to help you be less stressed. The problem I have with this is one of the things it's supposed to do is do a massage through your chair. Now, I'm thinking, are you going to go to sleep while you're driving?
I know.
I mean, is this really something we need at the wheel? Maybe this needs to be in autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, really.
So it says that it monitors respiration rate and heart rate in the seat. And then they can derive from that the stress and energy level from that, supposedly.
Yeah.
It says once it figures out that, it give you an energizing massage. Although, I don't know about you, but it might not be energizing. It may put you to sleep depending on how it works. It says this company's also worked with engineers at NASA to review and improve techniques for collecting a personal vital signs with sensors. So you can read more about that later if you want to.
Well, it wouldn't be the guru if I didn't have an aviation tech article. American Airlines launches a real-time bag tracking service. This is on the heels of recently U.S. Airways and Delta. Well, U.S. Airways merged with American, but Delta has launched one probably in the last year. But basically, this will allow people traveling that check their bags, which I know Johnny Jett discouraged that, but sometimes you do check bags, and you can be able to keep track of the status of your bag through their app. And I've used this with the Delta because I've flown Delta before, and it's pretty cool. You can put in, they give you the little, when you check your bags, I know Michael don't travel, but they give you like a barcode.
Not in a plane.
Yeah.
Not very far.
So you could, if Americans work similar, you can scan that barcode with the camera or put in a number, and it'll tell you like, okay, you checked in, or it's on the plane, or it's going here or there, which is pretty cool. So
yeah.
They're also working with luggage manufacturer Toomey. Recently also announced an upcoming launch of the Toomey Global Locator tracking service using wireless tech to track bags, regardless of which airline it's traveling on. So like a standard may be coming out for that.
Sounds like.
Keep track of those bags so they don't get lost and end up at the unclaimed baggage store.
Yeah, or they might end up in the NFL field where they're tracking stuff there too. So
That's
they might end
up
at that. Your bag could be tracked on the field somewhere.
That's right. Never know.
Estimated 5.6 million has had their fingerprints stolen in the OPM hack. That's right, folks. It's not over. When we thought it was over, it's not over.
Hey, folks, it's just getting started.
Yeah,
There's going to be more.
This thing is just, golly. This goes back to the old thing when you let government do something, it usually gets screwed up. I'm sorry, but it's just getting worse and worse. And they had so much data in this one place that he's just totally, these people's data, how are they, all these different things. Now they've got their fingerprints, they got their addresses, they've got the Social Security numbers, they've got all this kind of stuff. How it almost makes me wonder if some of these individuals will be able to ever recover in the future if any of this gets used, because they're going to have so much to tie things to themselves that how do they?
Hey, they got 18 months credit monitoring service.
Yeah,
so they're good. They're good. That's what the government says. Trust us, we're the government.
I know, but anyway. But there you go. It's just never going away.
Well, I will say
this OPM hack continues.
Yeah, if you depend on the government, you will be disappointed. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. Somebody on a television news journalist said that once. That stuck with me for years. Apple's new switch to iOS from Android app hits the Google Play Store.
Well, I just don't understand this one.
Well, anyway, if you're a switcher from Android to iOS, and I know, Michael, you're never going to do that, and Bruce will never do that, but they've got an app now on the Android Google Play Store that will help you move all your data to the iCloud, to Apple's ecosystem.
Yeah, but that's my point. Why does Google want to do that?
Well, this is not Apple released this.
I know. I got it. Why does Google allow it? I know they have to.
Google does not. They don't vet apps and approve them.
Yeah.
You can put an app and it'll be out there in a couple hours.
Yeah.
For sale. So anyway, you can. It's got. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Michael needs to probably test this out for us.
Yeah, he's not going.
So anyway,
there you go.
If you're switching, there you go. There's an app for that.
Well, now PETA, they're suing for a monkey to get copyright of selfie photos.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Have you ever seen these macaque monkeys? Oh, that's what they're called. MACAQUE. It's called macaque.
Oh, I didn't know if they said it. I would have said it differently. That's okay. I'm a Southern boy and don't know how to pronounce stuff.
Well, I've heard it pronounced perfect.
Okay.
So
I believe you.
So it's called macaque. But anyway.
So they're selfie taking monkeys.
Well, here's the gist of it, because we're doing this quick as we can. David Slater, he's a well-known British photographer, was in, I think it's a Sulawesi, And this is where you can find some macaque monkeys. And what happened was, apparently, while he was there, one of the monkeys picked up his camera and started snapping some selfies. And so some of them were blurry, some of them didn't come out, but now some of them did. And so what's happened is a few of these did, and of course, in his view, and I think he's correct, he and the company that published the photos own the copyright to the photos. Okay?
Yeah.
But what PETA is saying, because the monkey touched it and did it itself,
the monkey owns the copyright.
It should own the copyright cause itself, and they're now suing. Literally, they're suing this guy. I think the lawsuit in the company to get this. Now, here's what David says. Well, two things. Last year, the U.S. Copyright Office issued an updated compendium, I think I'm saying that right, of its policies, including a section stipulating that it would register copyrights only for works produced by human beings. Now, it specified that works produced by animals, whether it's a photo taken by a monkey or a mural painted by an elephant, would not qualify. Have you seen that? An elephant paints a picture. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that. So they own the copyright to that too now? Or they?
Well, no, they won't. They won't.
Okay.
But now PETA claims that this is only an opinion, that the Copyright Office policy is not like law, and it's PETA is anyway. But I think it's kind of interesting anyway. There's more on it, but
there'll be more to come.
Yeah, but you can see.
Just be careful who you give your camera to.
So is that all you had?
I have one more.
Go ahead.
This has been covered in the news, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning. An Apple Watch alerted a high school football player that his heart rate was dangerously high, and this was after he's on a football team, and it was after workouts or practice or something, and he put his Apple Watch back on, and he had like this 150-something heart rate, and the Apple Watch alerted him to it. So he's like, he thought, well, he's just kind of tired from workout, so he went and took a nap, lay down and rested, and it was still high. So he went to the emergency room, and like he was in bad shape with kidney shutting down and all this stuff, and I mean his Apple Watch basically saved his life.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we can use our flexible spending account money for.
I don't know.
I'm glad this kid is all right. I mean, obviously he's not playing football right now, but makes you wonder if they, I mean, it's a good thing in this regard. I know Apple loves that story because it's awesome. So.
Well, we'll
have a link to a video from CNN. They had a little story they did on it.
We're going to get our picks in real quick. I got a quick one. For all you ladies who like fashion, there's a thing called Ringly. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Ringly.com, and basically it's a ring that will connect to your device and let you know about emails, phone calls. It lights up, figure out whether you can you want it or not.
All right, so I've got 40 seconds
here.
All right, my pick is a YouTube video of animals attacking drones. Not drones attacking animals. This is people getting footage of drones where different animals, they got too close to them, or even in midair, and these animals like attack the drone. You'll have to go look at the link and watch the video. It's pretty entertaining. If you've had a bad day at work, that'll get a laugh out of you. So that's my pick this week.
Well, all right. Well, we've had a fabulous night, although be it our little troubles, but we'll get those worked out, and the Hey Techies Show will be back with all three of us, and sure we'll have some guests, and we got some exciting things coming up, so stick with us. Coming up pretty soon, right after us, is another show. So
that's right. Stay tuned.
We hope you have a great evening. The Hey Techies Show will be back next Thursday. Have a good evening.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by Mike Stedham and co-produced by The Guru.